Now we're going to run you through water washable penetrant. This is method A. I'm going to turn off the lights. Okay. So, first of all, I've chosen a piece here, and I've hooked a wire up to it. And what we're going to do here is take it like this and dunk it in the penetrant and make sure it goes both ways and gets all through there and everything like that. And then I'm going to take it out and then let the penetrant drip back into there. Okay. So now, while that's dripping, we're going to let that penetrant dwell on that piece for about a half hour. Now, the time that it dwells varies a lot. It depends on the inspection you're doing. It depends on the type of penetrant you're using. For CGSB, we just round it off for 30 minutes and it works out pretty good. Okay. So this is water washable. So the next place we're going to go actually is the washing station or the sink. And we have to make sure that we have this already set up and warmed up, and the water temperature has to be between 10 and 38, and the pressure can't be over 40. After we rinse it, and we'll be able to tell that it's been rinsed good is because we're rinsing under a black light. Yes, okay. And after we've rinsed it, we're going to take it to the dryer, and I'm going to turn on the dryer right now. Now this dryer, you just have to make sure that you just have to check this thermometer on this side. I don't know if that's gonna, so there we go. So it goes in the side here, and you have to make sure that the dryer doesn't go over 71 degrees Celsius. I'm just going to move this up so you can see where I'm putting this. Just in the side there, like that. Okay. Now, the dryer can go up to 71 degrees Celsius, but the piece that's being dried, the piece that's being tested, cannot go over 38 degrees Celsius. And the reason for that is your penetrant will start to dry. And if it gets dry, it's not going to blot out, and you're not going to find your cracks or your laps or whatever. After it's dry, then we're going to take it into the developer. And this is this one type of developer, but for CGSB, this is the type of developer we're going to be using. And it's just like, it's talcum powder, right? It's just like a powder. And don't breathe this stuff, guys. Okay. So, let's say that this has been sitting for 30 minutes now. The first thing that we're going to do, since it's water washable, method A, is we're going to take it to the sink and rinse it. Okay, so we bring it over here like this, and remember what we have to rinse it between 10 and 38 and not over 40 psi. So I'm just going to do that now, and here we go. And you just want to, not too much pressure, remember, not over 40 psi. And another thing too is you can't rinse over 2 minutes long, but will never take that long. So then we got the bottom here, and I might just grab it with my hands here to get the first part. This one's just a hard piece to hold. You really don't want to grab it with your hands if you can help not to. And I'm getting down in those areas in there. And now you can start to see that it's looking pretty good, isn't it? Like, you don't see too much green at all. Remember, this is being washed under fluorescent light. And could you do it without it? Well, you could try, but you probably do a pretty bad job. You need that. So, okay. So that's rinsed nicely. And now we're going to take this over to the dryer. And here's the piece. And I'm just going to take it like that, open it up. Now, the thing is, when you put things into the dryer, don't set them like this, you know, like where the water is just going to pool and everything, right? What you want to do is get it in there in a way. I'll just make sure that, yes, you see that. I'll just go check the camera. In a way that the water is going to drain nicely. So now I'll just turn on the light in there and you can see. See? So all the water is going to drain and it's going to be dry. And when this dryer is warm, like at around 100 degrees or so, oh, sorry, I'm going into Fahrenheit, around 38 degrees C, it's actually, that's nice and hot. But like I said before, you can bring it up to 71. But at 71, keep checking it. You don't want to get it too hot, because if that piece goes over 38 degrees C, the penetrant will start to dry. So then we're going to have problems. So let's close this up. And then we'll let that dry, then we'll take it out here in about 10 minutes. Okay, now our water washable piece should be nicely dried. We grab it, take it out, and we'll just check it out here, make sure that it's nicely dried. And it appears to be. So one of the things, and you won't see this written up in the procedure, but what I like to do before I put it in the developer is have a quick look under the black light. So let's do that right now. And here's our black light, and we already checked it, and we know that at the surface of the piece we're inspecting, it has to be 1,000 microwatts per centimeter squared. So zoom in a little bit there. As you can see, we haven't developed it yet, and the developer is going to sort of use a blotting action and bring the dye out even more. But this is quite, I mean, it's standing out a lot anyway already. So a lot of times what you're going to find is that you will find the cracks even without using a developer. And in this case here, you can look inside there and you can see some amazingly big cracks. So let's put this into the developer and see what happens. You still have to develop it no matter what. So let's go to the developer. And I'm just going to show you what happens in the developer here. So we're going to put some white light in there. Okay. And here we go. See, I still got it on a coat hanger. Put it in there like that. Move it around. Bounce it around. Whoa, don't get too much of that stuff on there. Just see if you can see what I'm doing here. Yeah. See here? Yeah. Okay, so now let's bring it back to the black light, and I'm going to get the white light off of there. Now, it's important that you actually have a look at this quite quickly, because if you don't, you'll find that like cracks in that can just turn into big blobs. So let's look at that one inside that we saw before, and I'm just going to zoom in there just a little bit. Oh, don't want to focus too good. And it actually is coming up pretty nice. So let's try a little bit different angle on here. Yeah, there you can sort of see it there. Let's see if I can zoom this time. Yeah, you can sort of see in there pretty good. And in this case, it didn't make a lot of difference. You know, it's a pretty big crack. So, I'm not saying that you're going to see the cracks every time without the developer. You possibly might not see the cracks, and you will, in some circumstances, need the developer to see the cracks. But it just gives you a bit of an advantage if you look at it prior to development. Okay, now I just want to take you through the water washable penetrant method one more time. So water washable penetrant is method A. You would take your piece, you would dip it into the penetrant. You let that penetrant dwell for about 30 minutes. And that's the time we want to do for CGSB. That time is going to depend on the code you're using, the penetrants you're using, how hot or how cold it is, what sort of metals that you're testing. There's a whole bunch of different scenarios. So after you've let the penetrant sit for 30 minutes, then you bring it over to the sink. And in the sink, we're going to rinse it off. And it has to be between 10 and 38 degrees Celsius, the temperature, and not over 40 psi. So we rinse that, and also you can't rinse it for more than 2 minutes. So we are washing under black light. I'm just using white light so you guys can see this quickly. So there it goes. You rinse it all up. Rinse in there, rinse. And since this is water washable, there's only going to be one washing, and then we take it over to the dryer. And the dryer can be as hot as 71 degrees Celsius, but your piece in here cannot get more than 38 degrees Celsius, or the penetrant will dry in there and you won't get any readings at all. So always put it in a way that all the water will come off. And then after it's been in there, and it usually takes about 10 minutes when the dryer's nice and warm. So then you take that out, take it out, and make sure it's nice and dry. And then you take it to the developer. This is like a talcum powder. And then you dip it in here, and you dip it all around and shake it and tap it and like that. And then you take it to the black light and you read it here. Okay.